The story of why the sun, moon, and stars rise in the east and set in the west, and why the rivers on earth flow eastward into the sea, is said to be due to the defeat of the water god Gonggong in his battle against Zhuangzi. According to legend, after losing the battle, Gonggong collided with the celestial pillar, causing great upheaval in the world. There are several versions of the story of Gonggong's wrathful collision with Mount Buzhou in China. Here is one of them. It is said that after Nuwa created humanity, the universe entered a new era, and the heavenly emperor Zhuangzi took over the governance of the universe. However, this heavenly emperor was neither tolerant nor benevolent. He ruled the gods in heaven and the people on earth with an iron fist. Zhuangzi not only locked the sun, moon, and stars tightly in the northern sky, ensuring that the 36 kingdoms in the north were perpetually bathed in light, but also plunged the eastern, southern, and western kingdoms into eternal darkness. This injustice led to endless grievances throughout heaven and earth, and the people suffered immensely, but they were powerless to change their fate. Deep within the heavenly realm, Gonggong, a descendant of the Yen Emperor who had been defeated in the great battle between the Yen and Yellow Emperors, witnessed the suffering of all living beings in heaven and on earth. Anger and humiliation burned within him like a raging fire. He courageously spoke out on behalf of the people, but Zhuangzi, who was intent on his own ways, refused to listen and even blamed Gonggong for meddling. Moreover, Zhuangzi was displeased with Gonggong's challenge to his authority as the heavenly emperor. Finally, Gonggong could no longer endure the tyrannical rule and decided to take a stand to seek justice for all living beings. Gonggong was not alone. He secretly allied with many gods who were also oppressed by Zhuangzi. The gods chose him as their leader, and together they formed a brave army. Though small in number, this army was determined to challenge the heavenly emperor's power with their flesh and blood. Gonggong led this army and launched a surprise attack on the capital of the heavenly realm. When Zhuangzi heard the news, he remained calm and collected. He quickly lit 72 signal fires to summon the vassals from all directions for support and personally took command of the army to confront Gonggong's forces. The two armies, though vastly different in strength, engaged in a fierce and earth-shattering battle in both the heavens and on earth. The fighting moved back and forth between the celestial and mortal realms. As time went on, Zhuangzi's forces grew larger and larger, with armies of tiger-tailed men arriving from He Mountain, dragon-headed men from Guang Mountain, and swarms of venomous bees and scorpions with honeycomb-like heads from Pingfeng Mountain. Meanwhile, Gonggong's forces dwindled, with soldiers suffering grievous injuries. Some had their necks slashed until only a layer of skin remained, others had lost an arm that was nowhere to be found, and still others had their limbs, heads, chests, abdomens, and even teeth chopped off, scattering across the battlefield. Gonggong's warriors fought valiantly, but as they faced the seemingly endless reinforcements of the heavenly emperor, their strength gradually waned and one by one they fell. Gonggong's forces dwindled further and further. In the end, Gonggong retreated with the last 13 of his men to the base of Mount Buzhou in the northwest. Mount Buzhou, a majestic and towering peak, stood between heaven and earth, one of the pillars holding up the sky. Gonggong stood at the foot of the mountain, gazing up at this pillar that maintained the order of the universe, filled with boundless rage and despair. Behind him, the sounds of the heavenly emperor's army's battle cries and calls for surrender filled the air, while in front of him, the towering celestial pillar blocked his path. In this moment of utter despair, Gonggong resolved to use his life to defy the heavenly emperor's tyranny. With all his strength, he hurled himself at Mount Buzhou. There was a thunderous crash, and to everyone's shock, Mount Buzhou was shattered in half. The pillar collapsed, and the sky instantly lost its support. The universe underwent a tremendous transformation. The northwestern sky, having lost its support, began to tilt downward. The sun, moon, and stars, once locked in the northern sky, broke free and slid towards the western horizon, creating the phenomenon of the celestial bodies rising in the east and setting in the west. Meanwhile, the southeastern corner of the earth sank as the giant ropes holding it up snapped, resulting in the current topography where the northwest is high and the southeast is low, causing rivers to rush eastward and flow into the sea. This cosmic upheaval brought endless suffering to humanity. The sky collapsed, the earth caved in, floods raged, and living beings were devastated. However, in this moment of despair, Nuwa, the mother of the earth, stepped forward. Unwilling to see her creations fall into ruin, she resolved to repair the broken sky. Nuwa selected 5 colored stones from the rivers and used a great fire to melt them into 5 colored stone paste. After 9 days and nights, she painstakingly filled the cracks in the sky with this stone paste. She then used the 4 legs of a giant tortoise to replace the broken celestial pillar, thus propping up the sky once more. Through Nuwa's efforts, the universe was restored to order, and the people of the Huaxia land were once again able to live their natural lives.